Cecilia Sterling, and these are the adventures of Superchic. I have a really good story to share. So let me set the vibe. Let's just imagine we are about to graduate. We're chilling in the dorm room. We're looking for inspiration for the rest of our lives. Whereas in reality, 2 weeks ago, I'm looking for inspiration for the rest of my life. And I am embarking on a new journey with this show and channel, right? And I find myself with Gloria Steinem and Oprah Winfrey hanging out, Super Soul Sunday podcast. And I like to think of the internet sort of like the universe, like let me put something in here and see what comes back to me. Well, Gloria Steinem is talking about living her life as if she's on a road trip. I'm taking you on a cyber road trip with me, and we're going to start with a graduation speech that Matthew McConaughey gives. It's a real good metaphor. My producer's going to be very happy with me that I have some structure for my story. I'll try to stick with it and use it appropriately. Okay, so I hang out on YouTube, obviously. I do meditations and take yoga classes, and I have a show here. But Matthew McConaughey's been popping up. Imagine he's speaking at our graduation ceremony, because finally I click on one of his posts and it is him speaking at a graduation ceremony, and he's giving life advice, which is all good. But the thing that really resonates with me is he says, he asks, why do humans say this is unbelievable? It's happening. Believe it. I don't know if anybody says unbelievable more than me. And I often say it emphatically. In fact, later that day, I say to my little one, you know how I always say unbelievable? And she goes, yeah, Mom. I said, well, I'm going to start saying, believe it. It's happening, right? Like humans are capable of miraculous things. This starts our journey. Now, let's say he's got us all inspired from our graduation ceremony. We're hopping in the car. We're headed to the desert on a road trip. And so in my cyber journey, I get an Instagram reel sent to me, and it's Marie Forleo. I like her. I like her vibe. I don't know her well enough to remember her and research what she's doing. She's a really good example for me right now as far as what I'm working on. And for the sake of our metaphor, we're going to stop by her mom's house. She's sharing a little nugget of something her mom says, which is, everything is figure-outable. I love this. And I'm trying to figure out all kinds of things right now, right? And it's just soothing to have someone's mom be like, everything is figure-outable. You'll work it out. Thank you very much, Marie Forleo. So next stop, I've dropped my daughter off at preschool one day, and I text a girlfriend that I'm out of shampoo. And her response is, I'm not going to sell that shampoo anymore, but I do have one for you. And funny enough, I just got a text from the owner of that company, and it just seemed really fearful. And she said, I'm just not, I may be reading into it, but I'm just not doing that right now. I'm really excited about what's happening next. And it resonated so hard for me. I'm feeling a lot of fear right now as I embark on this new journey, as someone might, as they're graduating from college. And it's like the girl in the back is like, you always want to stop at that restaurant. You don't even like the food. Let's just keep going and go to that place that you really do like. Right? The fear place is sometimes an option that we don't have to choose. And if you think about it even further, when she says, I'm not selling that shampoo anymore, you're texting me, I'm not selling fear at my store anymore. Right? I'm not buying it anymore. And I was just like, oh, thank you. And it was a really nice nugget to receive as I'm literally about to walk into my house and record last week's story, which is about making food for my family going through cancer treatments. It was very meaningful, very special. And I got to deliver it from my enthusiastic, grounded place, which is my very special place. Not my fearful place. She reminded me that was an option. Glad I forgot to pack shampoo on this trip. Okay, so I walk in, we'll say next stop. Let's say it's our Airbnb on our trip. It's our first stop. I receive an email that Marie Forleo and Matthew McConaughey are hanging out in our Airbnb. I am just like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I was just reminded of him and I was just reminded of her. I push play. I have a little time before I'm recording. Matthew McConaughey is talking about mystic green lights. When I opened my business, my boutique, 14 years ago, I coined a game. I coined a phrase. I named a game for myself. Green light, red light. So now I'm embarking on a new journey, and the universe is very obviously reminding me that I've been in this place before. I felt scared then. I feel scared now. There are green lights and there are red lights. And Matthew McConaughey is delivering my message? Like, thank you very much. Into it. I am into it. So apparently he's written a book, and that's part of the book. And so for my story, I am divinely brought into this space after working on a business plan for about a year of opening a boutique. I have a friend who never shops, who was out shopping with her mom, overhears a woman's conversation where she's saying she'd like to move out of that space. She is an interior designer and has a retail boutique. I am currently doing interior styling. I'm working at a boutique, and I'm thinking I could do that on my own somewhere else. Those two things married together. So my girlfriend says, Cecilia, I just overheard this conversation, and you're interested in the exact same thing. Maybe you two should meet. So we do. And in the meeting, there's a lot of alignment based on our shared interests and experience. There's one big potential red light. She has a pretty high dollar amount on what she would like to sell her business for. I have $0. But there is not only alignment about all these other things, there's a willingness for both of us to see them as a reason to meet again. I never make a financial offer in this series of meetings. And her price comes down each week. She's getting closer to a deadline that I'm not at all aware of. She needs to sell her business. She actually needs to move out of the space, regardless. I don't know all of those things, right? So we meet another time, and there's enough alignment that there's a reason to meet again. And I remember talking about it with someone at the time and being like, I guess I'm just playing a game. It's like green light, red light. She needs a price for this business. I don't have that money, but we just keep meeting. So that's interesting. And I end up buying her inventory, opening my business there that I run for 13 years. So feeling fearful was not the reason to stop. It was just one of the feelings on the journey, right? Wow, thankful. I am so grateful to be reminded of that. Like, I have been through this before. I know how to do this. Walk an uncertain path. I've graduated from college and had no idea what I was going to do, right? And there were all of these things that unfolded. So Matthew McConaughey and Marie Forleo are hanging out, having this conversation about mystic green lights. And he then says, or she says, and I believe that we're starting to come from, or we're moving into a place like an operational space where we're going to be working more with our faith and trust. That's what I need to do right now. He says, yes, but we're in a place right now where we need it to be more measurable. We're interested in metrics. I am literally having that conversation around the business aspect of this show and channel on a weekly basis. How are we going to measure the the things you need to address in a business meeting when you're talking about financing for a divine process, which to me is this show, right? And I say this all the time. I have one foot on the dock and one foot in the boat. Boat's tethered. It's moving around. It's loosey-goosey. The dock feels foundational. It's in water. It's also moving a little bit. And I don't exactly know how to sail, right? How good does it feel when someone's on the boat and they take your hand and you get to step in and find your seat? It's wobbly, sure, but then you're about to just venture off on your boating expedition, which is literally one of my favorite things to do. I've got metaphor on metaphor today. I am flowing with my literary tools that I picked up in college before I've graduated, right? We have a lot of tools in our tool belt. We're not always aware of what they are in every given moment. So to bring you back to this road trip we're on, the cyber road trip, so that's last week that I hear the Marie Forleo and Matthew McConaughey conversation. And I do my recording of the story last week. And then a few days later, I'm in a meditation with Reiki Rachel on YouTube. Love her. She's amazing. And toward the end of the meditation, so let's just pretend we've gotten to the desert on a road trip and we're stargazing like you do, right? We've been to Marie Forleo's house. We've hung out with her mom. We get to our Airbnb. Matthew and Marie are there. And now we're doing a meditation under the stars. And Rachel prompts me to see a word written in the stars for myself. And I say, hope, no, belief. It's belief. And I have a lovely meditation experience. And afterward, I'm telling a friend about it. And I connect the dots. Believe it, Matthew McConaughey, graduation speech, full circle. I'm now literally seeing believe written in the stars on my own internal journey. And I am aware at that moment that I need to believe that the possibilities I'm aware of are truly possibilities for me. I need to believe that I'm worthy enough, that I'm capable, that I'm sparkly enough, like my hair is cute enough, whatever it is, I need to believe it, that I can be successful on this venture and in my life. And side note, I'm just realizing right now, I don't know, a week or so before that, I met with a college friend I haven't seen in years. And she's like, there's a few people you might want to look into that are doing work like you're doing, might be supportive right now. One of them I look up, she's got a bunch of stuff online. I'll have to remember her name and put it in the show notes. But the one thing I choose to click on in that moment is her podcast, where she says, sometimes our dreams and visions are so big, we can't imagine how they could come together. And that's where the universe or God steps in. Best possible, I'll say, person for the job. How great to have the universe help in the best possible way. And this sort of mystic green lights or green light, red light reminder is that happens for real in real life. And things can work out, as I like to say, better than I can imagine. So if I can trust that all of these things are coming together to support me and that this can work out better than I can imagine, how much fun can I have on this post-graduation road trip? And how relaxed can I get into the allowing? Like I'm the lead character in an epic story that I'm reading page by page, that I'm allowing to unfold. as opposed to how can I know all the parts? How can I really meticulously plan out this road trip so I can just have a lot of hiccups along the way and be all freaked out about what could go wrong, what has gone wrong. We're supposed to be at such and such time. What a glorious adventure this is. And I'm safe to explore it and allow it versus I need to make it be so. So last week, I talked about infusing my food for my family with healing energies. And I've infused this story with that spirit of adventure and that feeling of grounded, enthusiastic safety that allows you to be curious about what could possibly happen next, with the type of belief that it could be even better than you could imagine. So if you needed a little curiosity or courage this week, I hope you know that you're receiving it energetically right now. And with that, I'll say ciao for now. I'm Cecilia Sterling. These are the adventures of Superchic. Thank you for going on this trip with me. It's all divine, y'all.